Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we have a lot, and I mean a lot, to do. And so, I hope you guys are ready. So, today is going to be a very interesting day in this. I did listen to all of you guys' comments. I got all of your feedbacks. That's why it took a day. I took a day off from making this Let's Play for this series, just so I can get some of you guys' feedback. And honestly, I really appreciate it. One of the things that I have done, I've done just a couple things off camera here, and one of those is set up this ender porcupine and try to, I just sat down and learnt how to use this thing. So I took the time to figure it out. And, well, it's kind of insane how this works. The ender porcupine basically ticks an area that you can specify. So inside here we have the origin, which is our current block space, but we don't have to stay in the origin block. We can move this. Right here you have your starting range, which are basically your starting X, Y, and Z points. So you have your X, Y, and Z. And then right here is your ending X, Y, and Z. And so that way you guys can have a three-dimensional cube that you guys can specify. So all I'm specifying here, if you keep all the dimensions the exact same, you can just move inside of your X, Y, and Z coordinate and then just specify a specific block. So basically you can set up mechanical users to use on an ender porcupine, and you can just have you can have a bunch of ender porcupines going into a giant mess like this, and basically you can accelerate any of these specific blocks that are way tucked inside here. So like if I wanted to say ender porcupine the mechanical crafter that's actually on the inside of this block here behind all this, I could specify it with this ender porcupine, and then I could actually use my mechanical user and accelerate stuff like this. Or you could set it to use the mechanical user to do specific tasks. Maybe that's, I don't know, fill a tank that's in there with stuff. It's basically just, you know, like this block right here is actually working on the core block of this immersive engineering code oven. So there's the middle block is actually the acceleration wand point, so the center of the block, and that's how this ender porcupine works. It's kind of cool. It's good to know. I didn't know that. So now I know that you can use this ender porcupine to say fill up a tank that's inside of a massive setup that is surrounded by a bunch of items, and you could say, you know, do that, or say you can use a specific wand or whatever the case may be. You can pipe stuff in. I think the ender porcupine allows you to pipe in and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool block, and it's not too expensive either. It's just some strings, some redstone, and some ender pearls, which we've already gotten a ton of. Also, I did have to set up grid power because it does use 5 grid power per ender porcupine, so keep that in mind. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just accelerating the coke oven. This thing is going incredibly fast. You'll see whenever a piece goes in here, it's almost instant when it's pumped out. Look at this. Bam. Immediately turning to cold coke. Over here, this actually goes pretty fast in itself, so I'm not too concerned about how fast that's going. And then I have an ender chest linking over here into this. Now, I did take you guys' word, and you guys said, because last episode I was having issues trying to figure out how to get leather. So leather was not that hard to get. You guys really filled me in on this. So I completely looked over it entirely. You guys were like, just catch fish, like vanilla, like just catch some fish. So I did. I caught a couple fish, but there's actually a better way to fish, and I don't want to stick with that way specifically. It's hard to automate. You really can't automate too well just regular fishing. So, or like, you know, your vanilla way of fishing. So that's where thermal comes in handy. And yeah, thermal has a fishing system. You can use this aqua chow and stuff for the bait, and we can try and get some more fish that way. That way I don't have to sit here and do some crazy stuff to get this to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and make an aqua entangler, and I'm gonna kind of explain to you how this thing properly works, and we can hopefully get this thing set up, and that way it'll just, you know, generate fish as we go, and hopefully that means we can automate it and have drying racks that'll specify specific fish that we want to be on the drying rack. And actually, I think we have to cook them first as well. So we'll have to do all that in preparation. So there's our aquatic entangler, basic. And what you need for this, to get this at its max efficiency, which I think is 3 times its normal rate, if you just have this setting in a cube of water, is to have it in a 5x5 block of water that is at least 1 deep below the aquatic entangler. So let's go ahead and get some blocks here to place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly where this needs to be placed. So we can place directly over here, and we can place it right here, and this actually needs to go 1 in the water. Perfect. So this is now setting in the water, and it's already caught a fish. Way too fast. You need to calm it down, sir. Calm it down. But yes, this has already caught apparently a fish. Okay. But what we can do is we can close this all off. But this just setting here in the water like this is actually how it's supposed to work. It's just funny that a fish ended up in there immediately. So we can help this a lot by adding a little bit of chow. We just need to make some bread. I don't need much of this. Some sawdust, which we get from a sawmill, and some wood. So we haven't actually made a sawmill. But I can see that it'd be very useful to do so. Let's see, let's make a saw blade. Let's make some copper components. We pretty much have everything else. Might as well make this guy. There we go. There's a sawmill. Let's get a point. I'm just going to place this nearby for right now, just so we have sawdust when we need it. There we go. And we'll get some wood, and we'll just throw that in there. So that'll produce sawdust for us. As you can see, good old-fashioned sawdust. And we can go back to making that, what is it, aquatic chow. Right, and we should need some rice dough, which we get from rice. I think we have enough rice. Don't I have rice? Here I am trying to figure out if I have rice. Yes. I have tons of rice. Problem is turning it into rice dough. That's the fun part. Bam, bam, bam. Perfect. We could also put an accelerator on that. That would be kind of insane. That would speed it up incredibly fast. Alright, bucket of water. Be nice. We're going to need that for making our slime balls. I don't know if I can pull up. Yeah, it'll fill. Let's just do it over here. So rice will be turned into rice dough. Rice dough can then be turned into slime balls. Problem is we need a little bit of water. Just like that. This actually gets us quite a few. And I mean, if you have a recipe that is kind of not working well with the rice, you can actually convert the rice balls into normal slime. And there we go. But everything should work. Everything should. I say should. Yeah, let's check over here. Let's make sure everything's out. And there we go. We got some aqua chow. Aqua chow can go in here and help the rate even more. But as you can see, it is catching for us automatically. But if you put aqua chow in here, it's going to help the rate. And we should start seeing some more fish in here. So let's get a chest or a crate. Actually, additions, storage crate. And we'll just set that there. Make sure to specify the output. And there we go. We already have some fish coming out of here. Several, actually. Now, I do want to cook these, and I want to have them go onto a hook. Now, there's not really a way to know all the items that can go on here. Let's see, we need a drying rack. We need a furnace, or not a furnace. Yeah, we can use a furnace. Let's do a redstone furnace. I think that would be a perfect machine for this case. We can keep everything nice and compact. And that should be perfect. And all this is just to get leather, right? That's what the crazy part about this. Just to get leather. So make sure that's powered. That is. Alright, we'll clear this out. We'll want to auto input. And then we'll output right here. And that should be auto output. We should be able to auto output to the drying rack, I think. I actually don't know how that would work. Well, it's definitely not going to auto output there. Maybe it'll... Oh! Oh! It did! It does auto output. So it should auto output there, and then we need some way to pull this out. Okay. Because that in the drying rack... Nice. So let's get some users. We'll just need one. I just want one user with an acceleration wand. We'll put that user on top here. Like so. Fastest mode. Use item on block. That's going to be slow. Let's do 2 users. Awesome. Like, this is going to be perfect for getting our leather. Like, I really appreciate you guys letting me know down in the comments, by the way. Because I was really stuck. I was really thinking that there was something broke. That I was missing. Because I just totally wasn't thinking about the other way. So, that should get us... leather. Awesome. Let's get a drawer. Item transfer node. Okay, and then just randomly spit it out. What? There we go. And that should be it. I don't think we have to specify a filter, do we? No. Okay, there it goes. Especially not now. Awesome. It's good to know that we don't have to use a filter on these drying racks either. That's good to know. But there we go. There's our leather. And this should continue to pick up fish. Now, puffer fish, I don't know if puffer fish can be used for anything. It can't be smelted, so it actually will never be pulled into here anyways. Clownfish probably can't be cooked either. No. So only the specific fish that can be turned into leather will go into here, so we should be good. We'll just let that run, and that'll get us some leather. Awesome. Do the same thing here. Look at that. We already got another one there. There's another piece of leather. Nice. I'm going to really like this. So as we just do our thing, this is going to slowly but surely build up with leather. And that will be perfect. Nice. And it's actually not that complicated. I think we can even break this. We don't even need this anymore because technically the thing doesn't need a wall to hang on. Perfect. So now that I have that leather that we've been working on, this should get a little bit easier. Now, the only other thing that I'm was kind of curious about was the knife for the biomass. Let's see, the knife right here. So this did require leather, right? So I went ahead and made that knife. So let's go ahead and get that. And what I wanted to see was if we can actually generate biomass the way that it's normally generated, which is by taking like some kind of like carrots or potatoes, any of those things like this, and surrounding it like so. I think it doesn't matter. I think it's just, as long as there's 4 in here, it will generate, or depending on how much you have, you'll get a ton of biomass from it by using that knife. The biomass, as you can see, that's exactly how you get it. There's no recipe, though. It doesn't really tell you in here, which I kind of wonder why it doesn't, but I don't know. Maybe that's always been a thing and it's just never shown you. But we need a squeezer, and we're going to be using this to get started. Let's go ahead and get a point, craft it up, because this will need some power. So there we go. And let's go ahead and place this somewhere. Now, this is going to be a giant mess of different things going on. So I will go ahead and place this in a corner where we can kind of add on to it later. So centrally, this is what will need to be done. We can go ahead and throw the biomass in here, or mash, and this will actually generate some of that protein soup that we were trying to make earlier. And we're going to definitely need to use that. It's actually used for a lot of different things. So, protein soup, we pull it up right here. We can see it's used for alloying, making the egg yolk, which will allow us to make eggs. Which I don't know if that's entirely necessary to make eggs, because there are other methods that I'm going to kind of go over eventually with you guys. And then we also have the fermenter. This is where you get all the different kind of recipes here. You can make milk, netherrack meat, which we're going to be making netherrack meat very soon. Also mushroom stew, which will allow us to get mushrooms, which is something we definitely need, as you can see here. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to be working towards. So next step to this protein soup that I want to do, at least today, is I want to be able to kind of get ourselves nether wart produced. Once we get one nether wart, we can farm it. I'm not concerned after that point, but we do need to at least get one nether wart. So the nether meat is used inside of a fluid transposer with a seed in order to get that, and we need a fermenter for all of this to happen. So let's go ahead and grab a fermenter. That, of course, is not that difficult. Bam. I think we have everything else for that. So fermenter, I think we have some energy cables, energy conduits. Yes, we do. So that'll help us out a little bit more there. We also need a fluid transposer. Let's go ahead and make that. I know we need copper gears, so I might as well just grab those. And a fluid transposer. Perfect. Alright, so transferring everything here. We need to pipe the fluids over. What I'm going to do is actually use the actual transfer nodes, because if I use the flat transfer nodes, they're just not fast enough, in my opinion. At least I don't think they're fast enough. So I'll just pipe from the front, take it over to a fermenter. This can actually pull directly from the machine. As you can see, that will go into here, build up some protein, and then we'll set this to automatically pull the fluids in, and then we'll get the other stuff set up very soon, like the seeds, putting the seeds in and stuff like that. So on this, we're going to need some netherrack, right? Do I have some netherrack in here? I probably don't. Probably need to wait for some netherrack. I do have the netherrack that normally gets auto-processed over here. We need a chisel. And what we can do with this is grab any of these weird named things, like guts, raw guts, all this stuff, raw meat. Any of this should work. And we'll drag that over into here. Also, we need to get some... what is it? Fertilizer. Compost. We need to make some compost. Just a little bit of it. I guess all that we can make would be just fine. Throw that in here. Throw that with the nether rack. And that's going to be producing... it should, for each stage of this, like each block, should produce 1 bucket worth. Right? At least I think so. Oh, it's not. It doesn't have any power. I was wondering why it wasn't working. So we'll just run that along the back. There we go. As you can see, we get some nether meat. That's going to be added to here, hopefully. I think that should work. Nether meat should fill this up. If it doesn't, we might need to use the bucket method to empty the bucket. But it should pull the nether meat, right? Nether meat inside of a fluid transposer. Okay. I don't know why it won't auto pull. All right, well, if that's the case, then maybe we can just do it this way. It is not having it. Okay. That's fine. Technically, we only need 1 bucket worth anyways. So let's get a bucket. We'll throw that in there with a seed. And that should turn into another wart for us. And there's another wart. Nice. We should be able to use that on some soul sand once we get some. Here's our soul sand. We should be able to do that with sand and an atomic reconstructor. Which I do have an atomic reconstructor, I just never hooked it up. We hooked it up before and then I just turned it off. So we can get that set up. I think it's automatically set up to pulse. Yes. We just need a pressure plate. Perfect. And some sand. Alright, and there's our soul sand. Pretty simple. Now if I want to produce more of this, all it's going to take is me putting the nether rack on. And me using an acceleration wand. And there we go. Last but not least, I have one more thing that I would like to get done today. And for that, I already have it ready to go, and that is our projector. Let's go ahead and set that up. And we're going to go ahead and make the metal press that is needed in order to produce what we wanted to produce over here. So let's go ahead and remove this. Actually, I don't need this here. We'll go ahead and replace this with our metal press, as you can see. Bam, and it's pretty simple. I really don't even need like a help or a guide to show me how to make it, but you know, it never hurts to have one. So here we go. Here's a piston. Now you can actually rotate this now, or you can do it later. It doesn't really matter. And actually, on the top is going to go the heavy. And what it's asking for is our conveyor belts, which we haven't made yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Conveyor. And there we go. Now that we have the leather, making conveyor belts is a little bit easier. And now you want this to place in whatever direction you want this to go in. So if you want your input here, you need to have it facing this direction, and then this will be your output over to this side. For right now, I think what I might do, since this... Where's our output? Our output is back here. So I'll probably have my output going this way. And that way, this will end up on this side. You can see the way the conveyor belts actually go is the way that this thing will be facing. And last but not least, all you got to do is whack this thing with your engineer's hammer right there on the piston. And you get yourself a metal press. Perfect. We need to get a point, because this, of course, requires power. So we can get one of those made. And we'll get power right on the top. And this is also going to need some other things. And this is where these other blueprints come in handy. But there are some other ways you might actually be able to get lucky if you can get yourself a villager to spawn in here. You may be saying, how do you get a villager? Well, later on you might be able to get a villager to spawn. And we'll talk about that in a future episode, but for right now, just believe me that there's a possibility using Botania. So let's go ahead and throw the rest of this stuff. Actually, we'll take those conveyors, because I want to use that here in a little bit. We'll go ahead and get a blueprint. Let's see, which blueprint do we want? Components, press molds. That's the one we want. So let's go ahead and make the steel piece. We should have that. Hammer. There we go. Last but not least, the metal press. Right? This one. And we have the engineer's blueprint. Perfect. To do that, we need some steel now. We can throw that in here. Now we should just need some steel to place in here. I think it's steel. It might not be. Also, we need to undo that. Is it steel or is it steel plates? I don't remember. We'll figure it out. I think it's steel. Maybe not? Let's see, press. Oh, it requires the wire cutters. Wire cutters and the plates. Alright. We'll take our hammer. Some steel. We'll get those. Wire cutters. And then that should work. Perfect. So that should get us the rod press, and that's the one we're going to need for right now. And you can just place it right underneath there. And this is where those conveyor belts are going to come in handy. So I'm going to have this output a conveyor, just like that. And as you can see right now, it's just going crazy. Not exactly what I want. That should eventually head that way. These actually need to go into a furnace. Preferably a redstone furnace, probably. Because they need to be cooked up. I don't know why this is acting all crazy. Let's actually just let's pull this for right now. I don't want that automatically pulling out like it was doing. Causing all kinds of issues. And plus we need to make some more conveyors. There we go. Alright. So another furnace. This is going to cook that stuff up. Probably just need another coil. And a redstone furnace. Some power. And this should auto output for us when we get this set up properly. What is this? Does this chest even do anything? No, it's not. Alright, so we'll get this set up. Input, auto input, output. Redstone into the top. Or power into the top. Alright, and now we should be getting everything right. That should be working. This needs to be cooked. Op graphite then can be put in here to make the rods. Alright, perfect. And then I'm going to take this chest. We can put this chest right here. So, last but not least, that might actually need to move. I think. Because I don't know if this will directly output to this. We can hit that with our hammer. Like that. It just seems like it's going the wrong way. There we go. There we go. Let's see if this works, because I don't think it will work when it's connected like that. Nor will this. That'll auto output that. That should insert. Question is, will this output? Oh, it does. Okay, good. So it does output. But this is not being pressed. Okay, so it is working. I just kind of forgot that it takes 4 to build up before it can actually produce 1. But there's all 3 graphite electrodes that we needed. You can't beat that. Look at this. So we should be able to input those 3 graphite electrodes up here and then give this thing some power. And we're ready to rock and roll. I mean, we can get diamond now. Yeah. So I'm going to use... I don't know. I think 1 probably works. Let's just do 1. There is 3 inputs for power in the back of this machine. But with Flux network, or with Flux power, you can pump this thing with power like crazy. Also, we need to get a kind of a chest back here, or a drawer for Flux. This is right here. This is where the Flux outputs. You know what? Let's get that so we can actually access it. We can't access it right there. There we go. Now we can access it. Let's put this on a power network. There we go. And ta-da! If I had the Zelda theme music, I would have played it right now. But this thing's ready to go. So, diamond. The thing everybody probably wants because there's so much you can do with diamond, and it's definitely necessary for getting into just about everything else in this pack. Yeah. Lapis and a compressed coal ball. Of course, we should be able to make the compressed coal ball for sure. But as you can see, is where we need a metal press mold. So the compressed coal ball is a dense coal ball in a metal press. All right, there's the compressed coal ball is what you get. The dense coal ball requires compressed coal balls, which we need coal balls. Timma, come on, man. And then the coal balls are from pulverized coal. I think you can get this from, is it just regular coal? Yeah. Will it take charcoal? Or is this literally called pulverized charcoal? Yes. That cannot be used. Okay, so it's specifically wanting coal. So at this point, what I might do is, this is producing coal. So what we might do is just turn this off right here. Basically by doing this, turning off the auto input. We'll build that up, and then over here, I want to just produce coal. And that's where this will come in handy. So, drawer. Let's just produce coal for right now. We'll turn that off. Awesome. And that should be good. Now, this is building up some creosote. I don't think it's building up that much. But this will get us the coal we need. I might actually move this to over here. All depends. I mean, I do need to take this and get a trash can and just pipe that in, because we don't want any fluid building up in here. Alright, so the pulverized charcoal, that's going to produce coal for us. I mean, let's go ahead. I mean, we can go ahead and I can program this for you guys. It shouldn't take very long. And I can show you guys exactly what this does, because we have enough we have enough of this. We need more coal, regular coal. So if we take a look here, 1814 is our X and Z coordinates. And 65 is not important. We don't need to remember that as much. I'm going to turn this off just to avoid any issue we may have. Alright, so let's remember this again. The exact coordinates we need are for the center here is 1814. 1814. And we'll find that out by this number. You can see that's 14. So we need this to be 18. So this will put it in the center. This will put it at 18. This needs to be 14. So that'll be 16. 14. So that should be exactly where we want it, I think. Let's make sure. Should be exactly the same, minus this. So, if I turn this back on, this should be going way faster now. Yes, so we ended up moving that. The particles are kind of gone because it's so close, but this is producing so much coal we can't actually handle this. So, translocator will work. And we should be able to do that. And there we go. And that should be definitely fast enough to pull all that out. Now we're literally just at the mercy of this. So at this point, I think, honestly, we don't need translocators. This is not going to be fast enough right now. If we need translocators, we can put them on later. But for right now, this will be just fast enough. We're keeping up with that. And there we go. We have quite a few of this, or quite a bit of this. A lot of pulverizers are going to be needed for this setup. And also, we're going to probably make more metal presses. They're not that hard to make, and honestly, you need more of them to do the setups that we're going to be doing. So I think the next episode, we really need to work on getting our compressed, let's see, compressed coal balls is what we need to work on. Very much so. So compressed coal balls, a lot of work involved with these. Getting compressed coal, we need compressed coal balls themselves, which require flint, which flint we can get from gravel. That's not hard. Flint and coal powder, or coal dust, whatever you want to call it. Coming from thermal, it's definitely pulverized coal. So that's probably what we're going to be using. And that should get us our coal balls, and that's exactly what we need to make this. It's not as bad as it looks. Of course, gravel is just that. So automating this step is not going to be too difficult in order to get what we need. I don't think so. Like, we need 4 of them in order to make 1 diamond, or 1 of them to make 1 diamond with lapis in this machine. Very, very cool. So, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, please don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and as always, thanks for watching.